What's going on, guys? This is going to be our Shang Chi spoiler talk. So if you've already seen the movie, perfect. If you have not seen it and you don't want to get spoiled, click off this video, come back after you've seen it. If you have not seen it and you don't care about spoilers, continue on because we're going to talk about everything in this film. Now, Jason did not join me for the non-spoiler review, unfortunately, so we're going to actually start with Jason first. Jason, what are your thoughts on this film before we get into it?
I definitely liked it. It was pretty interesting. It kind of had a different feel from pretty much all the other Marvel movies. It kind of felt like its own thing, but obviously they made plenty of relations to the Marvel universe, so I thought that was cool. But yeah, overall, super fun, super enjoyable. A lot of cool action, interesting storyline, good characters. I mean, I thought the whole thing was pretty good, so I have no complaints.
Dude, what are you talking about? There's no relationships to the Marvel universe. There's no characters are in this at all that from any other Marvel films. There's no connection whatsoever, Jason. What are you talking? I'm just kidding. Obviously, we're gonna get into all of that, but
Spoiler
yeah,
talk.
yeah. And now I've always said I said this on my non-spoiler review, but now having a discussion with Jason, I have always said, and I still hold to this day that Captain America: The Winter Soldier is still my favorite MCU film. This has actually jumped in my top five. I'm not sure if Jason, if you feel the same. That's not what I'm actually here to talk to you about. I've always felt that Captain America: The Winter Soldier has the best hand-to-hand combat and the best fight sequences. It's still right up there, but I think Shang Chi has taken over for me, especially after seeing it a second time today. How do you feel about that? Do you think I'm wrong on that statement, or?
I mean, in a way, you're right, but I kind of feel that the Winter Soldier fights just feel more like impactful, more human, where these ones are obviously like supernatural. So I feel like it's a little hard to compare.
More you,
Like,
yeah. I guess super soldiers fighting feels more human. I feel you there, man. Nah.
I mean, I know there's super soldiers, but like
I
even
know
so,
I
like
know
it
what you
doesn't
mean,
feel
though.
as magical. Where
No,
this feels more
I
magical.
I know what you mean, but I will say this: even though those fight sequences are incredible, the Russo brothers, the stunt team, did a phenomenal job. I really love the camera work and the editing here. How there's no quick cuts, no edits. They stay on long
Yeah,
shots
that was
and
cool.
you really get to see the action. I really had a lot of I don't know, Jason, if you saw the with Donnie Yen the Ip Man films.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I got a lot of that vibe, and also fun fact too for any of you. Even though Tony Wei Liang Chung was absolutely amazing as Wen Wu, Shang-Chi's father. Donnie Yen was actually offered the role originally.
that's right.
I could have seen him for sure being it, but I'm really glad Tony Chung.
No, this guy
ended
was
up
great.
he's probably one of my favorite MCU villains. If he's definitely in my top three favorite MCU villains.
I wouldn't know if I'd call him like a direct villain. No.
Well, I mean, from what happened, again, going to spoiler talk, from the prologue in the very beginning, he's clearly a villain. I mean, he's taking over governments, he's destroying armies, he's killing people.
He was okay. So what I'll say is he was a villain. He was a villain before the events of the movie.
Yeah.
But in the movie itself, he wasn't really a villain.
I agree. No, and once he meets his wife and he has children, and before her untimely death from the Iron Gang, before they murder her, he becomes a human and he becomes good again, and he sees that he's got something to live for and doesn't need the rings, doesn't need to do nefarious and evil things any longer. And no, I agree with you from that perspective. I didn't see him as a villain, but just like when at the start of the film, he is a villain.
He's a villain the last 1,000 years, but not the current 20 something years.
And that's also why he wasn't allowed in Ta Lo. I mean, they even said that he wasn't.
His past would follow him.
Yeah, his past. He wasn't worthy from the gods because of his past. So.
And I'll say, during the timeline of the movie, he was just a bad father and was manipulated by that evil stuff that was behind.
Yeah, and again, he was a good father up until the mother died. Once the mother died, he became a distant father. Everything was about training his son for an assassination mission to kill the leader of the Iron Gang. In regards to his daughter, he kind of just ignored her because she reminded him too much of his wife, and he didn't even pay attention to her at that point.
And I mean, whether he truly believed it or not, in the back of his mind, he had some resentment towards his son because he even said, "You just stood there and watched while they killed her."
I mean,
I know he was like 7 years old, but still, he still said that to him.
Yeah, no, and I mean, yeah, of course, he does have that resentment, but like you just said, it's like the Bruce Wayne effect. What could he have possibly done at that age?
Right.
So I mean, if he was like more of a teenager, I could kind of get. But again, he's not
I mean,
thinking clearly.
even a 14-year-old against like what 50 guys? I don't
Yeah,
think so.
but again, Wenwu wasn't thinking clearly. He just
I
misses
know.
his wife so much and wants her back. So,
Right, right.
but yeah, no, I really loved the whole dynamic of this film. Just how the film really, I mean, there's a lot of humor, there's a lot of action, but to me, the core of the story is about family, love, and relationships, and and the characters, and that's what really like got me invested. Yeah, the fight scenes and the humor, like really gets you like loving what's happening, but the storyline and the characters is what invested me.
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
and we got to talk to about Simu Liu as Shang Chi. I really dug him in this film. Again, really, obviously, I just felt his presence was really good as the character, and also too, just again his fight choreography and his style, and just his acting in general. There were some scenes where he really had some dramatic tension and some levity, and I really felt that there was that one scene with Katie where he was talking about how you could see him emoting and how sad he is about how coming to the realization I have to kill my father, and I just thought that was a very powerful and underrated scene in my opinion. The second time I saw it, I really felt it a lot more that time. It was a very impactful scene for me, and I just don't think he's getting. I mean, I haven't been really paying attention to what other people have been saying, but I think he deserves a little more credit for not just so much the action scenes, but even the dramatic scenes. I really felt he brought it there, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was definitely good. He gave a really good performance. Like, I don't know. I feel like this movie in general and his performance too, like, all was just really good. Like, it's hard for me to kind of compare to like other Marvel characters because for most of them, we've seen them in multiple movies throughout the last like 10, 11, 12 years. But I just thought this one, like, you know, basically starting a new thing. They did a pretty good job of like kind of setting up this whole movie to
Oh
be its
yeah,
own thing.
absolutely. I also feel he could have played a really quick getting off topic. I feel he could have been a good Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat. Simu
He
Liu,
doesn't
but
look. Just grow out the hair a little bit.
yeah, maybe. But I thought maybe Mortal Kombat One on SNES. But anyways, getting back to some of the other characters, I love Aquafina as Katie. She is
She
freaking
was good.
yeah, she was really good. The comic relief, but also I love the chemistry and the relationship between the two of them. I just thought it was very organic. You could feel the history there. And again, I thought they had a really good on-screen chemistry. I like how they didn't harpen too much into a romance thing there. They didn't really focus too much on that,
Right.
more on the
No,
friendship
that
side.
was the best part of the whole
Yeah, I
thing.
like how they just focused more on the friendship. I mean, maybe in
It was
another.
it was hinting,
Yeah,
but like
maybe, yeah, especially when
they didn't
they
pay it
had
off,
their heads
which
holding
I was
each
happy
other.
about.
Yeah, but maybe in another film. But I'm glad that in this film it was more focused on the origin story. On his father, on his mother and his sister, and then more of the friendship side. So I'm glad they focused there. And again, going back we were talking a little bit more about Tony Leung. He is just, again, I know you don't call him you don't really view him as a villain in the film's
I
events,
mean, he's
but
the
he's
villain,
the
but like yeah.
antagonist of the film. However you want to
I'm just not going to compare him to Thanos though.
well, it's not about comparing him to Thanos. I just think he's one of my favorite. I just love the way he was written. He feels like a real human character, even though he's got these mystical, godlike things on his wrists and arms. He really feels like a human character to me, and his acting is just to me. He stole the show.
His acting's good.
He was the. It was his. It was almost his movie in a way for me. Just in terms of the storyline and everything. Yeah, it was Shang Chi's storyline, origin story, but I felt like the story really revolved a lot around Wenwu.
Well, I mean, technically, he is in the title of the movie. It's Shang Chi, and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is really him. He's the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yeah.
So the movie is technically about him. They had equal screen time, if not, he had more.
Yeah,
I feel like,
but
because they showed a lot of his. They showed a lot of Shang-Chi's like earlier years. So
and I always love too antagonists that I really understand their motivations. I buy it and I get where they're coming from. And again, coming from an acting perspective, just a lot of powerful scenes. Just when the way he was when he was when he was trying to get past the gates to get to his wife, and just he wasn't seeing all reason anymore, and the way he emoted during a lot of scenes, and seeing that sadness, and I just thought he did such an amazing job. And again, fight choreography wise, he was amazing. So I just
pretty
loved
much everyone in the movie was pretty well cast, and everyone did a good job. And going back to Aquafina real quick, like
yeah.
I haven't really seen all the stuff she's in, but like from what I have seen of like little glimpses, like she usually plays like this is nothing against her, but she tends to play like kind of loud, obnoxious characters.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that they didn't like make her that in this movie. Like a little bit, but like not too much. So
Well, I thought they
I
did.
was
Yeah, and just going
I
off.
was glad they didn't make her too annoying.
Yeah, and just going off what like Darcy and Thor: The Dark World.
Exactly.
But going off what you said, I thought they did a really good job in this film of balancing humor, drama, and action. They really did a good job of not
Yeah.
going overboard on one of the three or too many of the things. So I just really thought again seeing it a second time, really good job of balancing all three, and that's really what I enjoyed the most about this film, and also too the cinematography, the editing, and the music. I really dug the score to this film. It had that nice that Asian music that it had was just so beautiful and wonderful to listen to. I really dug it when I was listening to it. Loved
Set
it.
the mood. Set the
Yeah,
mood really
yeah,
well.
it was a good theme too. I kept on like, yeah, I want to hear more of this music. I love it. So also too, we got of course really quick cameos. We did see when they were doing in the in Xiling. Is that how you say her name? The
Yep.
sister.
Or
When
something like
we
that.
got
Yeah.
Xiling. When we got into her fight arena, obviously we did see Abomination and Wong, which we'll talk about in one sec. We did see really quickly as well Black Widow versus an extremist. So right there we got our first foreshadowing and glimpse of an Iron Man 3 character, which we're going to talk about another character from Iron Man 3 in a few minutes. But let's get into Wong and Abomination. Obviously, Abomination's literally in this for about 30 seconds, and Wong's not in him too much more. But I thought that was cool, and obviously that was Tim Roth who was doing the grunt noises. I mean, there was no speaking or anything, but thought that was cool that they finally brought him back. You and I had been talking about in past videos that they should bring him back at some point because the last time we saw him, of course, was in 2008's The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. So nice to bring him back. Obviously, we got to see Mark Ruffalo at the end, which we'll talk about in a sec. But I thought that fight, even though it was very short, I love how Wong, created the
Made him punch himself.
yeah, made him punch himself. That was really cool. That was very entertaining and fun.
I just want to know what Wong was doing in these underground fights. Like, why is he even there?
Well, I
Like,
mean,
Abomination, I can understand, but Wong's like, what are you doing here, man?
Hey, after the end of the world with Thanos and the snapping and what all, or the blip, whatever you want to call it, you got to let off some steam, Jay.
Maybe he just needs the money.
Good. Well, I mean, they need a new roof at Comertage, after
Yep.
after Hulk busted it. Maybe they're making Abomination pay for it. One Hulk's got to pay for the other one.
Yeah, Wong's making lots of appearances in Marvel stuff this week.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's talk really quickly too before we get into one of our favorite Iron Man 3 characters, who's one of the most.
I was gonna say, let's talk about your favorite character in this movie.
We'll get into that character in a second. Don't worry. Let's keep people on the tease right now. Let's talk about that bus fight scene. Obviously, we got major. If anyone's seen the film, the 1994 Jan de Bont film, Speed, with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, I got major Speed vibes there. Not from a hand-to-hand combat scene, just from the bus can't stop. The driver gets incapacitated. A female driver or a female woman has to take over the driving position.
Female woman?
Female woman. Yeah, female woman. Exactly. A female has to take over the driving position. So got major Speed vibes there, which was awesome. But then the hand-to-hand combat in that scene in such a small corridor, it was a lot of tension and such a sick scene, I thought.
Yeah, it was cool, and when they split it in half, and all the fighting in between, like the dude with the sword for a hand. It all had the makings of a classic kind of Marvel fight scene.
Razor Fist, I think, right?
I have no idea. Not Taserface.
Nah,
Taserface.
Yeah. No, that was such a sick sequence. I thought it really just. I mean, we got a few action sequences before that with the prologue, of course, and obviously with Wenwu and his wife, and that right when he was trying to enter Talo.
That was a cool fight scene.
That was a great fight scene. The music again set the mood in that scene. So we did get a couple action sequences, but that one really set the tone for the rest of the film in terms of action sequences, in my opinion. And I was blown away the first time I saw that bus fight sequence, and the second time I was really anticipating again, and it did not let me down. It's such a great sequence. And again, I love that Speed vibe. And also, too, really another fun fact. The guy who was making that live video, the comedic relief, I forgot his name, but he was also in Spider-Man: Homecoming. He was like, "Hey, backflip, Spider-Man!"
That's right.
Yeah.
I knew I recognized him from somewhere. I guess he moved to San Francisco from New York.
I guess so. He wanted to be near Ant-Man and Shang Chi. So, all right. So after that, now we already talked about the sequence at the Xiling's arena, and then they get captured by Wenwu, and they go back there. Then they get imprisoned, and my favorite character from Iron Man 3, the first time I saw this, I actually had a feeling. I really did. I don't know about you, Jay, but I had a feeling that we were
Well,
getting.
it's the Ten Rings.
Well, yeah, but also because I had just watched All Hail the King again, and I knew that the Mandarin had captured him. I didn't know if he killed him, but then when we saw the back of his head, I was like, "Is it Trevor? Is it Trevor?" And then when he turned around, I was like, "Yes, Trevor! Trevor slattery." Now, hey, I will say
He was
this.
good. He was good in this one.
Yeah, I will say this for everyone who got pissed off in Iron Man 3. I think this film gives a certain layer of all. I mean, in my opinion, at least, like I didn't get pissed off, and I don't think you did. With the whole Mandarin thing, the fake out in that film. But I think that a lot of people now probably, in my opinion at least, I don't speak for everyone, but I think people might forgive that whole thing with how it all unfolds now because Wen Wu, who is the real Mandarin, because he's the leader of the Ten Rings. That's the whole thing. I mean, he even said they made fun of my name and named it after a fruit. So I mean, that's really who the real Mandarin is. It's Wen Wu, and I just think that the way it was portrayed here, and I think it was, I think all should be forgiven in my opinion, and I think it was rectified in a proper way. And Kevin Feige and the writers really did a good job of just diminishing the fire in that that people were so pissed off in Iron Man 3. I thought it was a really good rectification in my opinion.
Well, yeah, now I mean that they're finally getting the Mandarin, like you can kind of forgive not getting the Mandarin back then. So
yeah, but now when you watch Iron Man 3 and you know how it all unfolds, I think my point is it shouldn't piss you off as much when you watch Iron Man 3 again knowing what's going to happen. But getting into Ben Kingsley, Trevor Slattery is freaking hysterical, and I love his relationship with Morris. Oh my god! It's so many times I just was laughing out loud, hysterically. I mean, that was some of the funniest dialogue in the film, and then just already thinking about it is making me laugh. Just watching him bounce, but just him talking with Morris, and also too when he's playing dead in the final action.
That was my favorite part.
And then Morris,
it's a performance.
yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, no, that was great. I'm so glad they got Ben Kingsley back. That was just absolutely hysterical.
The biggest name actor in this movie, by far.
Yeah.
By 100,000 miles.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, but I thought that was great. I loved it. What happened after that? I guess there was that cool action sequence where they were escaping. That was pretty cool too. With the car where they got to use the hand thumbprint. And then the the rock thing kind of closes down on the car, and they steal Razor Fist's car. That was a pretty cool sequence again. Then when they have to go through the forest and Morris is guiding them, I will say this: just some of my little gripes. I was talking with Greg from the Real Rejects. He made a good point too. He said there was a lot of exposition in this film, which I kind of agree with. There was. Yeah. Also, too, a lot of times, when they have to get out of or a couple times when they need to get out of situations, it did happen kind of easily and rather quickly. When they're stuck in that prison, and I get it. Xiling already, she made mention, hey, I escaped out of here once, so I knew how to do it again. I just felt that happened kind of easy. Again, just minor little gripes, stuff like that.
And I thought, yeah, there's a lot of little things like that. I feel like overall, my thought about this movie is that it's all really good, but like you said, you're putting in your top 5. I don't know if it's making my top 8, 9, or 10.
Okay,
I think it's all
cool.
good, and there's nothing bad about it, but there's nothing really putting it so high above.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm glad we disagree. Now we have something to talk about.
Yeah. No, my thought is all good, but it's not amazing or anything.
Maybe I'm a prisoner. Maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment. I don't know, but I've seen it twice now, and I freaking love it. I love.
That being said, I don't really have any complaints about the movie. It's just, maybe I am biased too because, like I said, I've so many. Part of the reason why I love the Marvel Universe so much is because it keeps building off itself, and movies like Civil War and all the Avengers movies. Just you've been with these characters for so long, so you kind of have that emotional attachment. So for me, maybe that's why I think I like a lot of those movies more, or I think they're better. So
how about this, Jason? It's in my top 25, 26 MCU films. Is that good?
Then I agree with you. Okay.
Okay.
I agree.
Cool. I'm glad we're on the same page now. But yeah, look, maybe I might be a prisoner of the moment, but just as I'm feeling right now, it's in my top 5. That could change in tomorrow, in a week, in a year, in a month. I don't know. But as of right now, it's really high on my list. I loved it. The second time I saw it, I loved it even more. Yeah. What else? I'm trying to think of some other
Basically,
scenes.
let's talk about the fight in his mom's village. Like that's the last final thing.
Oh, the final fight, in Talo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Talo.
that was great. I love seeing. We got to see Smog's brother, the Great Protector.
Or
That
even that the whole time they spent in that village, because I liked when they got there and he talked with his aunt
yeah,
and
that was really
and
good. I mean,
Katie was made friends with that old guy who wouldn't
yeah,
let her shoot the bow and arrow.
yeah. And we also got to see Xiling. We kind of, I mean, embody her arc a little bit, like where she felt there wasn't. She felt that she was kind of discriminated against in the Ten Rings or in her father's Ten Rings
She was.
organization because she's a woman and they only train men there, and then in this they train everyone. So she felt more at home, more at peace here. So I thought that was really beautiful. I like that. I also like too where we got Shang Chi was fighting with his aunt because trying to understand the powers of harnessing the powers of the Great Protector, knowing that he's got the dragon in his heart, the powers of the dragon in his heart. So I thought that was really good stuff, just leading up to the battle. I thought the stuff again, talking about things happen pretty easily and convenient with
I was gonna say
Katie learning how to use a bone arrow. It's a movie. It is what
it,
it is.
it, it wasn't even that she could shoot a bow and arrow. It's that one arrow to that huge dragon's throat like saved the day, and it's like okay. I mean, I was thinking, I hope they don't end this fight too easily. And then the dragon comes back and starts sucking out the soul of the other dragon. I'm like, okay, stuff's happening, and there's how are they going to get out of this?
Yeah.
But then the arrow thing, I thought was just a little too easy.
Have you seen the videos, the pitch meetings on Screen Rant?
I've seen like them pop up. I haven't really watched
I
many
can
of
see
them.
this
But,
one already being on Screen Rant. Like, so I bet.
but
this,
how do they beat the dragon? Oh, a bow and arrow.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
it's
yeah.
gonna be super tough. Not really, barely an inconvenience. Katie's gonna take a bow and arrow and fire it, and she's not gonna have
Yeah.
any training.
Like I get those weapons are like strong against those
Yeah.
demons or whatever, but still, it's like
I mean,
there are things like that.
Yeah, she spent a day and a half, 2 days learning how to shoot a bow and arrow, and then from like 300, 400 feet away, she hit her mark. And again, it's a film. It is what it is. We're just nitpicking and griping here, but
What I did like though was the whole fight and exchange between Shang-Chi and his dad, like,
that was great. It was
and
powerful.
how
It was
like
personal.
in the end, yeah, it was a really good fight, and in the end, like he didn't actually have to kill his dad, but like the dragon came and then in that moment he sent him the rings. Like I thought that was cool. That
Yeah.
part I liked.
Yeah, the evil, the dweller from the darkness. Yeah, no, for sure. And I also like the moment where his dad, realized the mom wasn't actually back there. He was kind of tricked, and he sacrificed himself for his son. I thought that was a very moving and powerful moment for me.
Yeah.
It kind of completed his arc, if you will, like to be there for his one last time to be there for his family. I thought it was a nice moment for his death, unfortunately.
Well, because Shang-Chi even told him that, like, you weren't here for us when we needed you.
Yeah. No, and that was a great line too. And yeah, no, it's very. I mean, again, like I said, this film did a great job of balancing drama, action, and humor, and that's why I loved it so much. It didn't harpen too much on one thing over the other. It just really was a very nice balance, and I really loved that about this film, including the storyline, the tone, cinematography, the editing, the music, the fight choreography. I mean, there's just so many different things I love about this film, and
yeah.
and let's really quick, let's talk about the mid-credit scene. We get Wong, Captain Marvel, and your favorite character ever, Brie Larson, and we also get Mark Ruffalo. I guess he's not Professor Hulk anymore. He's back to being.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but until just when you brought it up, I was like, wait a minute. I just thought about that now.
Yeah, but also we did see him in the sling from his snap, so he was still in that wearing that arm sling. So
yeah, he looked a little frail. Like I don't know.
I mean, could be from that snap. I mean, who knows?
But like you said, how did he get out of being?
I'm
Hulk?
sure. Hey, look, I'm sure they're gonna explain that in either She-Hulk, which is an upcoming MCU TV series that he's in. I believe his cousin is going to be the Hulk. I could be wrong, but like there's a blood transfusion, and then she becomes the Hulk.
His cousin in the Marvel universe, or is Mark Ruffalo's cousin?
Not Mark Ruffalo's cousin. His cousin in the universe, in the MCU.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, I'm sure they'll explain it. The MCU, they very rarely leave a stone unturned, but In
right?
regards to our thoughts about that, I thought it was interesting how they were talking about the 10 rings and how it's a beacon and like it's calling out to something. It kind of reminded me of the first Avengers film, the Joss Whedon one, not Captain America, where the Tesseract was like it was a beacon calling out, to the Chitauri, to Thanos, like saying that, or it's sending out a beacon to all the realms and planets that Earth is ready for like a higher form of war or whatever. So this could be possibly a preview to Galactus or something like. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked or something else big
Well,
like that.
did it only start calling the beacon out once they got transferred to Shang Chi?
Yeah, it felt like that happened because I mean, it could be once it was used for force of good. I don't know. That's a great
Maybe because
question.
when we did see the color of the rings change
Yeah, it went from
when he
blue. It
had
went
them.
from blue to
So
orange. Yeah, so
yeah,
that definitely could be. I mean, because we never heard about that beacon happening before that when Wu had it. So yeah, it could be the case, but we shall find out. I guarantee you, we're gonna find out a lot more about that. Let's talk about the final post credit scene where Xiling is the.
or we could talk about how they sang karaoke after that.
Oh yeah, because that scene was so pertinent to the storyline. So
I actually thought that was the funniest part of the whole movie. I laughed the loudest at
Hotel California.
that. Anyway,
Yeah.
yes, the end credit scene was interesting because, like you said, his sister like felt at home in that in the
Talo.
Hello, yeah, Tao. But now we don't know what her intentions are when she's kind of reforming the Ten Rings
It felt
or the organization.
it felt nefarious and like she was going to do it for evil. But if that is the
That's what it
case,
felt like.
if that is the case, which I think it is, like she's got to know she can't stop her brother. He's got the 10 rings. So
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what her intentions are, but yeah, it kind of felt like it was for not so good
yeah, so from that
reasons.
perspective, I don't know why she's doing that, but from another perspective, like just from all the abandonment that she had over the years, I can see why she feels that way. But
Yeah, I get it.
yeah, just from a logical perspective, like she knows she can't beat her brother, but we'll have to wait and see. That obviously they're setting up Shang-Chi too there, so we shall see what comes of that. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be again a personal family dynamic as it was in this film. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see though because I actually like that character a lot, Xiling. I thought she was very well done. I thought she had a very interesting arc, and yeah, I really felt for her in this film. I felt horrible. I mean, after she lost her mother, all she had, because obviously her father wasn't there for her, and all she had was her brother, and he abandoned her, and so she had nothing anymore. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Like I said, I love this film. I'm really looking forward to the second Shang-Chi film and just seeing Shang-Chi in the MCU as well. I'm also looking forward to seeing him in Avengers films as well in the future. I just think he's a great addition to the MCU, and I think this film is a great addition to the MCU, and I really loved it.
I liked it a lot too. I thought it was great.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this video. We're also going to be doing an Easter eggs references and trivia video, so be on the lookout for that. Hit the subscribe button. Also hit that notification button so you don't miss any of our other videos. Also, we are going to be doing a Black Widow video. We did not get to that. We're also going to be reviewing some What If videos. Don't be on the lookout for that. Don't miss those. And if you want to, also too, we'd really appreciate it if you could hit the like button. It does really help us out in the algorithm. We are trying to grow, so we really would appreciate that. But also, we'd love to know what your thoughts are on this film. Did you love it? Did you not like it? What are some of your favorite parts? This is a spoiler talk, so you can post whatever you'd like in the comment section. We'd love to hear what you guys think. But until the next video, we will see you guys next time.